Alright, before I begin, I have some crusty ass witches connecting to me. I'm not interested in your energy. Take it back or you'll regret it. Alright, now that that is said, this message is for everyone that essentially is trying to survive in NormyVIlLE, in this world. Alright, so you've seen... Rio, you okay, boy? Rio's choking on his fur balls. Alright, so we're all choking on fur balls here. So we learn things. Alright, so the parents are a product of the environment. Epigenetics, okay, let's scale up, to the cosmos. Things happen, solar winds, whatever the fuck you want to say. Shit changes, cataclysms happen, crazy ass events arise. People have to become polarized in a very powerful spirit. That polarization possesses people, then settle into a normalization of that possession, and they create new dystopians out of seeming heaven on earth. The chaos is set into a controlled form. Okay, so if you're a child and you're young and you are abused, that energy is in you, you carry it forward. For me, it's rage. And I've learned how to use that rage for my benefit, but I am not proud of it. Before I know it, I'm breaking something. It is 0 to 100. And over time, I've learned the language and how to work with that and to redirect that into creative pursuits and be able to respond rather than react, but it is there. And it is a powerful tool when I need it. Alright, so likewise, cataclysm experiences happen, people get polarized, they set themselves into these stoic forms of ignorance. And the power is in the ignorance, weakness is strength. It's what you don't know which drives you. Once you start to demystify that, the ego falls and the power fades, and you become omni-powerful because you are no longer set in a caste. But I digress. So society, it does these things. It starts to monetize function of the individual purity. It starts to demystify magic. The heart, it sets it into the stone of the mind. This, if not this, then that. And it's a shell game in a box. We're just fucking retarded, essentially. It takes the purity out of your partnership, your loving relations, and it monetizes it for functions in society, and then marriages become business arrangements. Friendships become business arrangements. All these things start to be doing a epileptic dance around this gyrating fire, which is pulsing this chaotic energy into us. And our parents do their best. Sometimes they don't, but they cast down that delusion. This is a Saturnian grind, okay? We're Saturnine. We are in the kiln of life. We have to realize when we're ready to be brought out of the oven. And if no one's coming to save you, you got to kick the door open and leave yourself. So that's where we're at. Right, so we've seen the replicated designs of, okay, this group is a victim, they need retribution, they need their revolution. Okay, and that energy goes from one group to the other, from one movement to the other, but the normies, the middle class, the people who have grinded away for generations, they don't get that. So they get to see all these other people getting their flowers, and then they start to get angry, and it's like, okay, now is the time where we can manufacture their investment in denial for manufactured revolution. Okay, and it just so comes at a time when our populations are declined and they're playing shell games with different groups of people to make the populations look like they're growing, but they're actually not. And I feel that's by design, but I mean, it could just be nature. I mean, if you look at it in the grand scope of things, everything happening now is nature. Even though it might be manufactured, we are all nature. So we are a symptom of the times, the psychosis of psyche. It is wetiko, it is the breakdown of a previous culture, it is the meal left too long rots. So take what's good and leave. You got to start to do you. You need to individuate, and you got to cast down the mechanisms of the hungry ghost and leave NormyVIlLE. But how do you do it when you're paying the bills, when you've got expectations, when you're raising a family, when you're trying to keep the legacy alive, keep the bloodline alive, trying to keep the purity in a nostalgic myth which doesn't fucking exist except for it's within you always. And it's within the cultivation of the spirit of human heritage. So you bring that fire forward, fuck the past. The world's going into this breakdown energy because that's what it takes. So you're going to have to go tribal now. You have to individuate, find yourself, and that's how you reciprocate with reality and you find the others, and that's how new cultures rise in the chaos. The world's breaking down for our benefit. You know, if something isn't fair, just, then all you gotta do is say no and let whatever happens happen. It's like arguing with a bully. You're either gonna get beat or you gotta take it to the point of no return and then be ready for the repercussions, and you act. You don't let someone else act upon you. And for every individual, that will be something only they can understand. Whether they get pulled into the manufactured rebellion of something for a better reason, or they just simply have to end a marriage, end a contract, leave a career, leave a way of life. This is the power you hold. And when you do those things, you evolve the mythology. You mutate the status quo into what could be, and you become. And yeah, we need money in this world. We need connection. We need a semblance of societal structure, but that's what we're creating now. The blockchain idea, as long as there is electricity and technology, it's actually still open for everyone. Yeah, they might try and cast people down as terrorists or being nefarious overlords like the people who created the systems, but they don't want competition. They don't want competition on the truth. That's why we're flooded with all the AI and all the potentials, so that they can make any sin seem arbitrary because there's so many stones on the ground. What does it matter now? So forget Sodom and Gomorrah, forget Babylon, go to the self, bring yourself to the oasis in the desert, and the desert is within you. You have to find the purity, not the manufactured bullshit that we thought was good within us. We have to find what's actually good, what can't be replicated, and bring that into the world. And if you have the means, create the systems. Create your own fucking coin. Create networks of people that can use their skills, their experience, their knowledge to actually give value to whatever network you're creating. This is the way of the future, at least to bridge us to the cataclysmic cycles. And they are coming. You know, I'm not a doom and gloomer, but think about it. Beings have been on this planet for millions of years, and we thought we come from caves 6,000 years ago up until a few decades ago. So there's a lot of, there's a gap in the value structure of our history. We think we're lowly, pathetic beings, which is why transhumanism has risen. But I don't need firmware updates. I don't need plastic. I don't need chemicals. I don't need a fucking computer to know my worth. I'll smash this thing when the day comes, and I'll be happy. So, yeah, get within yourself, find what's pure, bring that out, cultivate you. And if you have to rebel against the world by doing that, simply by walking out, do it, and you'll figure out how to make it work.